Have you ever wanted to just talk to someone and they're not here? And then you figure, I'm always talking to someone that's not here. YouTube. All right, this is Denise Diane of Whitmore Reads, aka Denise Cooper. Um, also, Nisi Shores on Facebook, where I go live on Wednesdays at noon Central Standard Time. Okay, I am so bored. All right, actually, I'm not too bored. But what I wanted to say is it's 10:23 p.m. DJ just left for work, and I am actually going to talk about tomorrow, um, which is Wednesday, Reader Wednesday series, which I will be setting up the camera, not you, but my other Sony camera, and film my live again. And hopefully, I'll be able to say a proper goodbye before that camera goes off. Because last time it didn't, but you guys are so used to the cutoff by now. You're so used to the cutoff by now. So anyway, okay, so I got a lot of library books that I need to take back, and since the library, actually one of them's in my room. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to go get it and all that stuff. But I'm taking this back. My friend on Frank. I really actually want to own these two and the Escape Artist. I read some of this one. Didn't really get to this one, but they have got to go back because they are now overdue. Okay, and also on Wednesday Reader Series, I'm giving a book away a week, and it's going to be the same book that I present to y'all. This one, of course, is going to my daughter, which I freaking loved it, and I actually wanted to keep it. I don't even know why I'm trying to give this to my daughter. I think I might give it to her and be an Indian giver, or why do we say that word still? But and take it back. Maybe I'll let her read it and then I'll take it back. Actually, I might just buy one for her because I really want this book. So I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna give Tasha a brand new one. Okay, although it's really in good condition. So last Wednesday on Wednesday Live on Facebook, talking about books on the reading table is what I call it there, because I'm sitting at my table and I'm talking about books I'm reading, have read, books that yeah, are on from the library and so forth. So I read this, freaking loved it, and I'm going to go ahead and give this one away. But I posed a question to Facebook and I told them I was going to give a book away a week, and I put a post on there, asked them a question so that they can get the book. Nobody did. And I said I wouldn't give it to the same person. But Brenda Davis, this might be on your way. On the way to you. This is good, I think, because when I thought about giving this away, and since I sent Brenda Davis the last book, or the first book most recently that I've given away, it's not the first book I've ever given away, because I've given away boxes, buttloads of books. I think I've given over at least 500 books during the last couple of moves. Oh, Jesus. From the Kansas City move to the Fort Worth to the DFW move, which Fort Worth is DFW. So anyway, I'm still in that same area. My sister, the serial killer. Y'all, I think Brenda Davis would love this. So Brenda, let me know if you want it. It's yours, honey bunches of oats. And yes, I read it. Only issue is, Brenda, I wrote on May the 16th, 2024. I was at an art show. Actually, no, I was dropping off some art that was going to be in a movie. And I wrote all the pieces that I left them, or something like that. And yeah, this had something to do with keeping track of an inventory of my art at an art show, and I wrote it inside my book because I had never planned to give this one away. But I don't mind Brenda seeing that. So I think you will love this, Brenda. I only read it once. We're gonna have to talk about this one, Brenda. So she's got my address, but I might shoot Brenda my telephone number so we can do something other than just talking the DMs. She's a good friend from Florida when I lived in Polk County, and so we're gonna have to talk about that when you read it, girl. We're going to have to talk about it. Also, I'm going to be discussing new writer Pam Porter and it's Smile Through It All. And this is a true story, nonfiction. And she goes through basically a lady that I know, her grandmother, and she was called Big Granny. She talks about, very small, but talks about losing her big granny and who would she have to do things with and go to talk to, right? And how that affected her and what she kind of does after that. And a relationship that is abusive. She talks about that. She talks a little bit about her alopecia. And she is really telling the story very quick, fast, in a hurry. And sometimes I think it's maybe to protect her own feelings and maybe to protect the people involved because, again, it's nonfiction. So I get to chat with her live about this tomorrow, Wednesday reader series. And if I can, because so far I haven't been able to accept any invites. They can't even, I can't add somebody. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's just the way that I have my Facebook set up. So I'm going to have to go through that and maybe take off any things that I don't have public and make sure that I'll be able to talk to her. I've discussed going live with her, and she told me today, she sent me a message that she would be available during Wednesday Live tomorrow, which she's in Atlanta, Georgia, so it'll be 1 p.m. her time, 12 noon Central Standard my time. So hopefully we can do it. I'm going to contact her. Maybe I should do that tonight. I was going to do a test, but she'll be at work tomorrow, so it needs to be working tomorrow. If not, maybe I can talk to her on my phone a little bit and doing live, because I think that might be simpler than doing it on my computer because we just have not been able to work it out. And I've tried with my son. I've tried with Steven. I've tried. So hopefully we can work something out tomorrow for Pam. And because I really want to chat with her about the book. And yes, I did write all over my copy. I mean, I'm asking questions. Well, what happened here? And blah, blah, blah. Oh, my God. And oh, my gosh. And oh, I can feel this. I really like this build up. Da, 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 da. So I am eager to talk to Pam about her experience. And if at all possible, she will write another book and she can literally turn this into a fiction book and just expand on the details of all this tea she's spilling in here, because she was just kind of giving it to us, but not naming names and whatever. You don't have to give them the name John, Bob, Jim, Joe, whatever. So I kind of want more, Pam. So, and I want to talk to her about that and see if what I was feeling when I read the book and some of the things that she was going through, did she not get descriptive because she's still shy, because she's a very shy person, but she's written a book and she's living out loud. But during the time, coming up, I know she was shy, and she mentions it in the book. And a lot of people thought she was shy, right? But when you read the book, you're like, shy girls don't do that. But I want to talk to her about that. And so we'll also be talking about the end of ours. I'm happy to be done with this. What I thought was going to happen did happen. But there was so much going on as far as like day-to-day stuff. And I think what happened with this book to me is so much beautiful writing. But sometimes it was just so much. It was like the writing was the biggest part of the story, as if it's just saying, I write beautiful things and I can make these people have these very voodoo-ish, some have some spiritual powers or I don't know. It was a lot of what they could do, what they couldn't do. It overpowered what I thought could have been the biggest highlight of the book. She's freeing slaves. She's built a town for them. Nobody can get to them. But then later, I'm thinking somebody's going to get to them. There's going to be a war that breaks out. And Okay, just to spoil it a little bit, it kind of does, right? And it does, not kind of, but still, even when that happened, then he goes back and tells some of how it was going down, but like in retrospect, when if it when it was happening, tell all those point of views when it's happening. Don't let it finish and then go back. I just because then all the descriptive writing and all of what this person can do, the stomping, the resurrecting the dead, the killing, the healing, and it's just the not talking, the nonverbal talking, all of those aspects just overshadowed the joy of them just being free and going about their lives. It was so much about what all the mystical stuff, and it was just a lot. And it was beautifully written, but it just could have been 300 pages less. That's all I'm saying. So we'll talk more about that. My graphic novels. So I started this one, and I read most of this at work today, right? And I'm going to finish this tonight because I only got this much more to go. I got to page 73. Let me see which page I'm on. I'm on page 73. Look at that artwork. Freaking love it. This is not a cheaply made book. Ain't no way I would pay this kind of. It's only $19.99. It's a $20 book. How? It feels so expensive. Oh my God, I don't want to show that page. But my God, oh my God, I did not know. Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start buying graphic novels. I was checking them out at the library because I just thought, man, this artwork is beautiful. There's no way I'm paying $50 for this coffee table like expensive style book with all this. The cover is beautiful. I wish I could see it, but it's kind of shiny, embossed lettering. It's just beautiful. See that? But look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It is so good. Okay, it's a nonfiction story about Attica. This is a real person. Big Black Stand at Attica by Jared Reinmouth Amizian, I believe is his name. There you go. 4 days in 1971 changed the course of American history. So these prisoners are talking about the slave type of behavior, the treatment that they're getting as if they're slaves, and it's in the it's in the amendments, right? So they can basically still enslave you if they put you in prison, and this is what this whole book is about them uprising and believing that their rights are just their civil rights are being ignored, and they're really just got them there for the warden's wife wants them to do some cleaning and this, that, and the third, and they only get to take one shower a week, then go outside at a certain amount of time. They just feel like the enslaved all over again, but inside of a prison. And they've got Nixon in here because they're talking to the N-word is thrown around pretty bad from those in charge. And look at this page. Look at this page. Well, they used to call him Slick Dick Nixon or whatever it was. But anyway, this is really good. Again, I'm on page 73 of a graphic novel that is really blowing my mind. And I want to look up Big Black because he was just so friendly to everybody. He was a big guy, and he was like the coach in the prison for them playing football. He was friendly with certain guards that were good people, and even protected one of them and got him to safety when all hell broke loose in there. It's just really good. They had a whole list of demands because they were just not trying to be treated like this anymore, and they wanted the governor to come and talk to them, and they didn't want just the warden and shooting the butt. Then they're watching on TV with the warden lying. It's really good. I wanted to get an actual nonfiction book of the story and not just the graphic, not that the graphic is just a graphic novel, because it's just an amazing lesson that I'm learning about that time in 1971. Then I'm also reading, and going to finish this tonight. This is I Was Their American Dream. This one reads pretty fast, but I put it down because I was still working on getting finished with Hours and also Pam Porter's book. And so I'm only on page. Are there page numbers? It's not as obviously as good as the nonfiction, but it is cute. It's her story about being a first American girl and all the traditions and cultures that her family has, and now she's trying to Americanize herself, or her family letting them know all the differences that they have. So the artwork is fun and quirky. Look at it. It's just cute. And it just makes me really go, I can make all kind of bad art, good art, fun art, quirky art, or whatever, and make sure the story is in there. It's just good. I'm thinking, should I write the story first and then do the art second? And I've got my own little journal that I've been taking to work every single day and working on it every single day, working on the story, working on some art for the story to try to get the rough draft done, and then get another notebook and continue. But this is a different story. I'm working on two. One of them, the artwork is beautiful and the story is beautiful and it's deep. But the second one is A Life at a Certain Age, which is the same name of my other channel, Denise D. Cooper, A Life at a Certain Age, which is basically talking about kind of my beginnings, but mainly the older portion of my life, all my 50s and now that I'm 60. So I am enjoying the whole idea of it and all the things that I know that I need to write down, and then putting, some cool, quirky, kooky art, and just developing the story. And I just lost the bookmark, but I know I'm on this page. Anyway, those are the things we're going to talk about, as well as I finished an audiobook this week. So I'm finishing one audiobook a week during my 5 days of working, because my drive is an hour and 10 minutes there, and sometimes a little bit less, an hour and 8 minutes, it says. And then sometimes it's an hour and 20 minutes. Like today, there was a car crash, so it took me an hour and 20 minutes, and I was 5 minutes early to work. I was not late, but I did call because I was thinking, man, I should be further along. I'm not even in Denton yet. So anyway, then coming back, it's almost 2 hours because of traffic. So today wasn't as bad. It was going fast, but I did have to make a detour to get around some of the traffic. So it's just really bad. And so I'm listening to a book a week, a 10-hour book, a 13-hour book. So I'm really putting in the time and enjoying the stories. So this week I actually finished one called, it's a Carl Weber series, but he's not the writer, he's presenting. And so there's several different writers. And I didn't know it was going to be 2 stories in one. So the book that I just finished, and it's a part of a whole series. I've got, I think, 3 of them. I'm trying to bring it up now while I'm talking. I also listened to more of Just Above My Head, which I've already read my own physical copy of James Baldwin's Just Above My Head, which is my favorite James Baldwin book. Going to Tell the Men, or the Amen Corner. There's so many of my favorite James Baldwin, but that is my favorite fiction novel of James Baldwin. Yeah, it really is. And so I'm listening to that, and I'm going to show you. Me and Tasha have been texting. So I'm 2 hours and 56 minutes into that one. There's the cover for Just Above My Head. And my cover is somewhere behind me, maybe. I don't know. Nope. It might be in the bedroom. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm re-listening or rereading by listening. And I'm enjoying the narrator. Y'all want to hear the narrator?
That helps. Drugs were flooding the ghetto. And that scared the shit out of me for Arthur. And so there were a whole lot of things I didn't do. And a whole lot of people I told him.
I got it on 1.25 as far as being sped up. Because I really like his voice, but come on. For some reason, I listen better when it's sped up just a little bit. So I finished. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. Full figured. Oh, and I did delete it because I wanted to check out something else. But I do have a picture of it, so I will show you. Let's see here. I got four of them. So I listened to one. There's two. There's three, and there's four. Okay, so I'll just show you some of it. There they are. And then there's number four. And then I took a picture of Full Figured, the first one. So let me bring up my photos. But y'all, guess what I'm still thinking about? Because I want to talk to somebody in person about it, because you ain't talking back to me, commenting or nothing. You haven't shown that I'm worthy yet. I'm not worthy to have a conversation about books. Okay, so anyway, what did I do with her? Oh, I gotta go to screenshots, right? This is why y'all don't be listening. Okay, so I took this picture, and I'll make it big. She's really beautiful, but okay, so there's two stories in one. This is the book I just finished yesterday. Oh my god. It's so good. Okay, so there it is again. I was trying to see if you could see the names. There we go. Brenda Hampton and LaJill Hunt. Carl Weber presents, and it's right. His name is right above Full Figured. So it says plus size divas. So the first one is about a guy named Rock, and the girl's name is Desiree, and he calls her Des. So Des is 40 years old, and Rock is 24 when she meets him. He's, of course, gorgeous. Are these men in these erotic type of books, romance books or whatever, ever ugly? No, they're not. So he's so good looking that he's, great enough to be a model, and just everything in place, and blah, 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 ever. So she kind of is, thrown off a little bit by his age, and she's recently divorced. Her husband's coming over all the time. They have a child together, a son, and their son is going off to college, and he graduated and then went off to college, and so the husband is still coming over to the house, but they're not doing anything. It's just kind of like he's territorial. And so when she meets somebody and he's a little thrown off and kind of pissed off about it and showing his jealous side, but he's got another woman. And so the young buck tells her he has him followed, finds out that, your ex is seeing somebody, so just get over it, because he can tell she's still, isn't finished with that possibly, and it doesn't help that the ex is still coming over. So once she starts seeing the young man Rock, when he does that, and it does hurt her physically, and she shows it in front of him, because I'm thinking, I thought she was over it, but she is still, little hurt because he's moved on, and then he's got a problem with her moving on. So, it's one of those type of stories. And it just goes on and on. Come to find out, Rock, obviously, he got a job, right? But y'all, he's a drug dealer. They don't even call it a drug dealer at first. He says he's a mover and shaker, which even her son knows what that means. He's moving things and he's shaking people down, right? So I'm thinking she's 40, because at first, like, the whole vibe of her, you get she's a 40-year-old mature woman. She's got her job. She's got her life with her son, and she's recently divorced and whatever, and she's just not out there in the clubs and whatever. Her friend is kind of wild and fun, and they always have one of those friends, right? So she's just mature. And then when she gets with this 24-year-old who turns 25, of course, as they're together, and he takes her to the club that, everybody knows him, and he's got all these other women. He's got another child. He's got a jealous baby mama. And she just keeps staying with him after saying that, she's too old for this, and this is just not her vibe, blah, blah, whatever. And it just, at one point, it makes you mad. It's like, girl, what are you doing? Like, it changed her whole thought, the thought you had of her. And so she becomes silly in my head. I'm thinking, wow, she's not as bright as she first came off. She's not as secure as she first came off. She's not as together as she first came off, chasing behind. Well, not she's not chasing, but she ain't running after this 24-year-old. And then things escalate, and I don't want to say what, but so do they wind up together? That's for you to read and find out. But it really is good. And then as I'm, listening in my car, because I know I only had like an hour and something to go, so I knew I would finish it yesterday. And another story starts. I'm like, what? So that story is obviously shorter than the first one, because I was like, I didn't have that much time left. So another story comes, and it's okay. It's about this couple. She's trying to, the lady, she's trying to go to school and everything. She's working very hard. She's writing her thesis and so forth. And her husband or boyfriend, are they even married? They're not married. So they've been together for a really long time. And he's inherited the house that they live in. And she's wanting more from her job. And, he's thinking that she's, staying at the job and cheating and what have you. And he's made to seem very insecure. Although they have a good life together, and she really does love this guy. But I'm kind of thinking, why? Because he's just so childish, and the things that he does, and how jealous he is. And but he shouldn't be, because she's very in love with him. And of course, somebody at the office is another good-looking man. He comes into the picture, but they don't do anything, And then some lady that she used to go to school with, who used to be this really plump-sized lady, and again, it's called Full Figured, and all the girls are full figured, right? Like the central character. And when she meets the new boss at her job, it used to be this really heavy girl that she went to school with, but now she's really thin. She's very, like one of those bosses, like when you see these movies and the boss is just really mean and getting the whole ship ran tight. But she's also taking care of the black girl. She's thinking that, they went to school together and whatever, and she's trying to tell her white friend is just, sabotaging her because she wants a position, and she's vying for her to get the position. But then she also, it turns because she likes her. The boss likes the main character, and ends up doing some things. I won't tell you, I don't want to spoil it, but it gets really crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's cuckoo. And what she does to this woman, it all comes out and everything. But you're like, oh my God, it's kind of shocking. You didn't think she was gonna just go all out, and she does. And anyway, I don't want to tell the end, because again, it was very short. But does it come out all rosy? Yes and no. I mean, it's really good. It's cute, but it's not as good as the first one, because I just think the first one was longer, and y'all know I like a longer and bigger book. So that is what I read this week. So I finished Hours. I finished, of course, Pam's book, Smile Through It All, and Full Figured. And what else did I finish? There's something else I finished. I can't think of it. Anyway, when I do, I'll let y'all know. And then I'm reading 2 graphic novels that I'm going to finish tonight. So 3 things this week that are complete, and 2 things that I'm going to finish tonight. So tonight is Tuesday. This is my Friday. And so I would have finished 5 books. Let me look at because there's something else that I was reading. I'm reading Just Above My Head. I'm not finished with that. And again, that's a reread. But there was something else. Oh, The Unseen World. I'm only 12% in. And I stopped it after, getting maybe 5 or 10% in. And then today I was like, let me listen to a little bit more. And the reason why I stopped it, I only have 4 more days, and this book is 14 hours. So I'm only 12% in. And you guys, I don't want to listen to this. The narration is really good. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. And I'm sure you've seen this before. The Unseen World. So I'm only 12% in, an hour and 47 minutes, right? I've got 12 hours and 34 minutes. And I think I'm going to turn it back in because I want to buy the book. I don't even want to check it out from the library because I might. But what I'm going to try to do is, after the library checkouts that I have now, some of them are going back tomorrow, and I already got the library books that are also parts of books that are on my shelves. Like I have an Abby Jimenez. I'm not taking that back to the library. And then I had recently bought one, and I've already shown you guys that. So I've got one that I own, one from the library. So I'm going to read the library one and then read the one that I own. Okay? Trying to read more on my shelf, and the library is helping me do that. And I've already shown you those, like the Morning Star, and the because I'm going to start Red Rising or whatever it is by Pierce. So I've got 3. One I own, the other 2 from the library. So, and then I've got the 7 Days in June that I own, and A Love Song for Ricky Wilde from the library. 2 by Tia Williams. One I own, one from the library. So it's helping me read books on my shelf, and that is the goal. So, and then of course the graphic novels are still going to be checked out, because that is helping my goal of finishing my own, right? And even if it's just for me, I'm going to self-publish it, and I'm going to try to get it out there. But I'm just saying, it's just good to see. I think I finished another graphic novel, but I can't think of what it was. I talked about the one, So Much Love or whatever. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking about. Oh, and I'm still reading Jules Gomez. And it's right there. Whatever. The one about the black vampire girl. And, oh my gosh. What is it called? Let me get it. Y'all like my cup? Look at that. While I struggle. Let's see here. What's it called? The Gilda Stories. Again, I'll put it down. Number 1 is because I had to finish Hours, and Hours is 576 pages, so I had to finish that. So I put down the Gilda Stories. It's sitting right there. This is one of the books that I own. And so what I think I'm going to do when I take back the library books, again, that are actually due, and there's 3 of them, 2 there and 1 in my bedroom. It was the poetry and short story tellings of the families and people in Auschwitz. So those 3 books are all having to do with Germany and Hitler's time. So Escape from Auschwitz and My Friend Anne Frank, and the other one, forget what it was called, but anyway, it was very short, very devastating. And yeah, not that I'm done with those, but I would really like to own those too. Freaking want to own those, because it's so important to honor people that were lost and brutalized that way, just like we remember and read stories of our ancestors and what happened with enslavement in America. And the reason why most of us are here, because not all black people here in America were from the enslaved. Some of them were already here, child, and some of them came over for Africa from school and everything. So every black person you see isn't connected to slavery, okay? So, but those of us who are here from that, we still honor and respect and read and learn about it, so that we know, and so that we can watch out for things that look like they're going backwards and try to help and do something about it, like in current times. So that was the reason. I mean, literally what's going on in this world is the reason why I have been reading all those books regarding Hitler, The Plot to Kill Hitler. That was really good. And Becoming Hitler, I still have that on my list to finish. I did turn it. I think I ran out of time on my Libby app with that one because I was reading other stuff, but I still want to finish that one. That one was it was very well written, and I love nonfiction like that. That's not boring, where they've done their research, but they still have a very writer quality to them to not entertain you, but give it to you in a way that it's digestible and it's not just boring, and where you can actually see this happening and recall all the things that you've maybe heard about it or seen in a museum, and here it is in a book, and it's being told in a way that's bringing up some memories of hearing those stories or watching those movies, and it's laid out not so brutal, but it's very brutal because it was real, but it's laid out in a way that it's not just written for the sake of horror. It was horrific, but the facts are the facts, and it's just not a big bore. I forget who wrote that book, but anyway, it's called Becoming Hitler, and I have that still on my Goodreads unfinished because I don't want to own it. Don't want a bunch of Hitler books in here and whatever, because that one has his face on the cover. I ain't trying to have that. But the on Frank, my friend on Frank and Escape. What was it? The Escape Artist is what it's called, not Escape from Auschwitz. It's called The Escape Artist by Jonathan Friedland. And yeah, I want those. I think it's important to have those on my shelf, and hopefully DJ will read them, or as my grandkids get older, they can check them out from my library, or they can have them when I'm gone or whatever, and read those, because I think it's important to own really well-written stories of history that's not trying to sugarcoat things and take those facts away from us, like the current government is trying to do, and get rid of black stories and anything that goes against their agenda. So I think it's important to relate what's going on here to what happened there in Germany, so that it can keep you in the know and keep you fighting against it getting that bad. So that's that on that, and I will talk to you guys soon. And that's all. I just kind of wanted to say hi and speak to you about what I'm reading, what I finished, and I did that. So that's it. Get out of my dining room, where I've bought my books, out of my bedroom finally. Like I said, I didn't want to, but I just have to. I have to be able to sit and see books and art everywhere, and that's what I'm doing. I'll see you tomorrow, possibly.